Hey folks, Wish SE up here in New Hampshire. I'm going to do a really quick instruction today about how to use 50 rounds and accomplish something on a weekly basis. So I'm going to take you through, I'm going to fire 50 rounds with some different drills that might help you if you're limited in how much time you have or how much ammunition you have to practice with. We'll be working on trigger press, trigger prep, the reset of that trigger, both in slow fire, in press out, and also press out with center mass shots, firing in bursts of 2 to 5 shots depending on what we want to do. And again, we're trying to cover all the basics with 50 rounds or less. Let's get to it. Okay, I'm 5 yards from the target here, and what I'm going to do right now is just bring the gun up, fire 5 shots slow fire, and I'm working on my trigger press and the trigger reset. So I have a target out there at 5 yards. Alright, I wasn't particularly happy with that. The group is not acceptable. But again, got 50 rounds, so we're going to fire 50 rounds worth of ammo regardless of whether it's perfect. What we're trying to do is work with limited amount of time and ammunition to get the kind of hits we want. So the next thing we're going to do is, from a high ready position, we're simply going to press out, index the front sight, press a shot. Okay? Press out, press a shot. Press out, press a shot. So, exceptional accuracy? No. But again, what we're working on is just pressing out, finding that trigger, pressing a shot, and trying to keep reasonable accuracy, in this case, in our oculocranial area, on our target. The next thing that we're going to do are a series of shots in what I call burst mode. So what I'm doing is I'm firing, again, from a high or low ready position, doesn't make any difference, but we're firing a burst of shots, so several shots in our center mass area. So I'm pressing out, acquiring my front sight here, right, and then we'll fire 2 or 3 rounds. And the idea is to get center mass hits in a reasonable time speed from 5 yards away. Alright, so had 2 type 1 malfunctions. My reloads, again, I reload for volume, not necessarily quality. So I don't always get the primers fully seated. I don't really care because it's good practice to do type 1 malfunctions or malfunction drills in general. So no problems whatsoever. So if you look at our target down there, what we have is we have the bulk of our shots. I have 1 shot high outside of that center mass circle that we have that's about 8 inches edge to edge. And what we're going to do is we're going to fire the next magazine, again, with this same type of deliberation on getting center mass hits with reasonable speed. So, hands are cold, which is a good thing. Have to practice with cold hands. So we've got our last magazine here, our last 17 rounds, 18 rounds actually in the gun because I did top off. So again, we're pressing out. Now one of the things that I don't know if you'll be able to see, and hopefully we'll be able to zoom in with the camera, is my finger riding the trigger reset. I'm not letting my finger all the way off. So as I press out, I take a shot. My finger does not come all the way off the trigger. That allows faster and more accurate shooting. So again, a burst, 2 to 5 rounds, whatever you have. The idea is to keep them in that center mass area. One of the other things that's helpful is to change your ready position. I favor a high ready position, but there's nothing wrong with working this drill from a low ready position, right? So in this case, we're just going from a low ready position out here, right? Up, look. All good center mass hits, reasonable. So in this case, I have 3 or 4 rounds left. I was not happy with the accuracy that I got in that initial warm-up stage. So I'm going to spend the rest of this ammo seeing if I can improve my accuracy by really focusing in on the trigger press and the trigger reset. So let's take a look at that. All right, so I've got, I think, 4 or 5 rounds left. It looks like 6 rounds left in total. And what I'm going to do is I'm 5 yards away. I've got a 1-inch square out there, and I'm just going to focus on trying to get as accurate shots as I can in sequence. So I will ride the trigger reset on every shot here. Here we go. This was our first 5-shot group. As you can see, I wasn't particularly happy with it. I just wasn't dialed in. This was our last 6-shot group, and you can see how much tighter it is than this as I warmed up and got used to the trigger. This was our just straight out press drills, right? So we've got a little bit of wandering to the right. That's just me working on what I'm doing and seeing the front sight, being accurate with the shot. And then our burst fire was right where we want it. Threw one out. That's okay, right? This is practice. And all of these would have been combat effective, as would have these. Well, folks, that's it. That's a quick way that you can use 50 rounds to develop your skills on a handgun. Both accuracy, right? Front sight alignment, seeing that front sight, trigger press, pressing through along the axis of the bore, trigger prep, riding the reset, and then a combination of both slow fire, so accuracy, and then using different ready positions. One of the things you can do, again, depending on the range you're on, is really work out of a holster. I prefer to work out of a holster at all times whenever possible, just because I need the practice, just presenting the gun. But if you're at a range that doesn't allow that, you can do all these drills from either a low ready, right, 45 degrees, come up, see the front sight, press a shot, or from a high ready, drive out, see the front sight, and press the shot. Both of those positions are good ones to practice. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay safe.